Hi, I'm Dylan, and today I'm bringing you the latest updates that you might have missed on EB-5. On February 14th, USCIS issued guidance in its policy manual to update when an immigrant's visa number becomes available for the purpose of calculating a non-citizen's age in certain situations under the Child Status Protection Act. For a child to obtain lawful permanent resident status in the United States based on their parents' approved petition for an employment-based visa, the child generally must be under 21 years old. If the child turns 21 and ages out during the immigration process, he or she generally is no longer eligible to immigrate with the parent based on the parent's petition. Under the previous Child Status Protection Act guidance, the USCIS considered a visa available for the purpose of the Child Status Protection Act age calculation based only on Chart A, even if a non-citizen could apply for adjustment status using the earlier date in Chart B. Under the new guidance, USCIS will now use Chart B to calculate the non-citizen's age for a Child Status Protection Act purposes, which provides them with more certainty about their eligibility to adjust the status. If non-citizens are eligible to adjust status because of the change in policy and they have filed for adjustment of status, they will also be eligible to apply for employment and travel authorization based on their pending adjustment of status application. And they generally will not lose any previously issued employment or travel authorization. The USCIS policy change is effective immediately and applies to pending applications. We recommend you to consult your immigration attorney to determine your or your child's eligibility. The Department of State published their annual report on the visa issuance for the fiscal year of 2022, covering the period from October 2021 to September 2022, with breakdown by country, path, and category. Out of the total 19,987 EB-5 visas available in 2022, 10,885 visas were issued. 6,396 visas could not be issued due to the newly created set-aside visa categories under the EB-5 Reform and Integrity Act of 2022. And the remaining 2,706 unused visas are permanently lost. While this number seems like a big waste in visas, fiscal year 2022 still shows much better numbers compared to fiscal year 2021, when EB-5 lost a total of over 15,000 visas, or compared to fiscal year 2020, when EB-5 lost over 7,000 visas. The visa wastage last year was largely because of the expiration of the Regional Center program in June 2021. With the policy that restricts visas from being issued to Regional Center applicants from October 2021 to May 2022. None of the set-aside visas were issued in fiscal year 2022, since none of the new petitions filed after March 15th could reach the visa stage by September 2022. These set-aside visas are also not available to be used for petitions with priority dates earlier than March 2022. All 6,396 unused set-aside visas will be transferred over to the same categories in fiscal year 2023. And if they continue to remain unused in this year, they will be moved over to the unreserved category in the next year. Fiscal year 2022 also saw an unprecedented high number of EB-5 visas issued through adjustment of status. Many industry professionals noted that this could be due to the local U.S. consulate's lack of capability in processing such immensely high volumes of applications sent through the consular processing route, resulting in more visas that were issued through adjustment of status in order to avoid visa wastage. The top 6 countries with highest demand for EB-5 remain the same since 2019, with China, India, Vietnam, South Korea, Brazil, and Taiwan. These top 6 countries taking up approximately 85% of all EB-5 visas issued in fiscal year 2022. On March 15th, USCIS removed the biometric requirements for all I-526E petitions. The agency determined that universal biometrics collection is not necessary under the new law in connection with the filing form I-526E for all regional center investors petitioners in order to confirm compliance. USCIS may still request the submissions of biometrics from an I-526E petitioner as may be necessary. For investors who have already paid the $85 biometric fee with their I-526E petition, USCIS will be returning the fees in the next couple weeks. You do not need to contact the USCIS to request refunds. The May Visa Bulletin shows a priority date of September 8, 2015 for China's unreserved category. India's unreserved visa category remains the same, showing retrogression with a priority date of June 1st, 2018. The unreserved visa category for all other countries remains current. Chinese and Indian investors can still take advantages of these set-aside visa categories to avoid having to wait a long time. All set-aside visa categories for all countries remain current. Big congratulations to our Group 11 and Group 13 investors who received both their EAD card and advanced parole at the same time in just under 4 months of filing. This is amazing news, considering that the average expected processing time for the I-765 Work Authorization or EAD card is around 3 to 4 months, and the processing time for the I-131 travel document, advanced parole, is 8 to 14 months. These record approvals signal a positive sign that the USCIS is following through with their promise to increase processing efficiency. Investors can expect to receive both the EAD card and advanced parole document within 30 days from the approval date. They will be able to legally work in the US beginning from the start date of their EAD card and will be able to travel and re-enter the US using their advanced parole without applying for additional visas, all while waiting for their I-526E to be processed. Arcfe investors who are currently residing in the US under F1 and H1B visas have successfully filed their petitions for adjustment of status concurrently with their EB-5 I-526E petitions. Many of them have successfully obtained their EAD card within 3 to 4 months of filing. The EB-5 Reform and Integrity Act of 2022 offers great benefits to investors and their families, including concurrent filing. This allows investors who are already in the US under a different visa category to file their I-526E petition at the same time with Form I-485 to adjust their status without leaving the US. This also gives investors and their families immediate freedom to live, study, and work in the US while waiting for their green cards to be approved. Talk to an immigration attorney today to determine your eligibility to file petition concurrently. Find your American dream with us today.